Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here, and we had a major victory on Friday, January 20th, when Donald Trump was officially sworn in the President of the United States of America. Now, this happened despite all their attacks, despite Jill Stein's recount, despite the fact that they claimed he was a Russian agent, despite the fact that right now we have protests going on, despite the fact that President Obama, ex-President Obama, hell yeah, no Obama. But anyway, despite the fact that Obama has technically federalized our election by calling it critical infrastructure, so many attacks. And then also on Inauguration Day, there was a huge attack from Disrupt J20 with multiple other organizations, including Black Lives Matter, in which they caused all hell to break loose, where they were throwing bricks into buildings, into walls, into cars, blowing up limos. I think Larry King's limo was blowing up, but nonetheless, many other crazy things that went on, from blockades and the whole 9 yards. People were arrested. It was crazy. But despite all that, Trump is in. Now, with all that, there is some worse things that I've warned about that would happen when Donald Trump gets in that are happening right now. Let me take you back first, and then we're going to go forward. But back on October, I put out 15 unsettling predictions for 2017. Those included, number one, Trump will assume presidency. I said he would be inaugurated, he would make it to president, and he did. I said protests, riots, civil riots from the left would continue, not only on Inauguration Day, but they would go on, which they are. Also, that political opposition through riots, protests, corrosion, they would label us Russian activists. The attack on fake news would continue. And then number 9, I also said Hillary would not be convicted, although I wish she would be. Now, all of those thus far have played out and are playing out. And today, which is January 21st, Saturday, we have massive breakouts in the hundreds of thousands of protesters who have taken to the streets in the name of women's rights. Now, that's not just here in America, folks. This is all across the country. I warned that more protests would happen, and they are. I warned that they would increase in intensity, and they wouldn't stop with just the inauguration, and they didn't. And I have a bad feeling they're going to continue even more intensely, and Donald Trump is in some major trouble, I believe. But here's a report from one of the fake news networks, but I think it portrays what I want to show you. It's NBC Los Angeles, protest worldwide. Now, here's the thing. Obviously, NBC doesn't like Donald Trump because, well, he knows that they're corrupt to the core, and they are. So here they are showing protests all around the world. What they don't tell you is that not all of these protests are huge in number. Some are very minor, just a few people, whoop-de-doo. Others are a little bit bigger, but nonetheless, nothing like what we're seeing in America. However, they paint it as if the whole world is in chaos. Why? Because they're freaking lying media. But they say protests in Berlin, Germany, Amsterdam, Mexico City, Warsaw, Poland, Mainland, Philippines, London, England, Lima, Peru, Lisbon, Portugal, Scotland, Madrid, Spain, Bristol, England, and Brussels, Belgium. So these are all the countries that are listed in this particular report, but they're trying to paint the picture that Donald Trump is an evil man and everybody in the world hates him. Well, newsflash. Regular people who want freedom and love their nation, love their country, who aren't brainwashed to the crap that's being pushed by the mainstream media, being pushed by the New World Order, and being pushed in our schools. Well, we've woken the hell up, and we know what's going on, and we're not in with the New World Order. This is what this protest is all about. Think about it. Here we have a protest in the hundreds of thousands taking place in countries, not only in countries, but in America. It's happening in Washington, Boston, New York, Denver, Chicago, LA, and I think somewhere in Florida as well. Those are the ones I could find. But hundreds of thousands in order to protest or to stand for women's rights and civil rights. That's what it's about. It's a big women rights activist parade. Well, that sounds all good. And I'm 100% for women's rights. We need to be equal on same ground as men. We're equal here. I get it. But Donald Trump is not a woman hater. He doesn't hate. Nothing that he's said he was going to do, nothing that he's said he wants to put into place is going to hinder women's rights in any way. Interesting. how the left has stolen the women's rights activists, who's a big number of people, and put it under this banner like Donald Trump is a racist, because in addition to this protest, gathering across the world for women's rights, it's not just about women's rights, because they've managed to throw it in there anti-Donald Trump. They want to make sure Donald Trump's not a racist, so they're going out to protest against and stand for women's rights. No, the left is using women's rights and women's activists as a shooting point, because they put Hillary in, a reported feminist who is not anything near that. She's evil to the core. She hates women, in my opinion. Why do I say that? Well, because she accepts money from the women-killing country, Saudi Arabia and China. Get over it, okay? Communist China, Saudi Arabia, I'm sorry, she ain't my friend. Okay, but yet Donald Trump's never accepted any money from Saudi Arabia or anything that bashes women. And here they are. The movement got hijacked by the left and is being pushed in by the mainstream media. People are coming out to support a good cause, because women's rights, great, it's a great cause. Civil rights, yes, great, that's a great cause. But don't push it in the left agenda and call it and say it's not part of the right agenda, because it doesn't have anything to do with that. It doesn't. It's just a human right. And so here they are in solidarity, and idiot actors such as, let me name a few, Alicia Keys, Scarlett Johansson, Ashley Judd, Michael freaking idiot Moore. I don't know if he classifies, but Madonna. Madonna's even come out and said she'd burn the White House or something to blow up the White House. Something stupid during the protest. I'll leave a link below. It's on the Communist News Network one that I'll leave. But anyway, it's insane. It's insane. And so we have hundreds of thousands of people gathered, and they're protesting Donald Trump and saying, we just want women's rights. Well, I think that's going to cause a lot of ripples in America. And I fear, that this could be some movement to, I don't know, they're going to attempt to impeach him. They're going to attempt to assassinate him. Because look, if there's all this Trump hate going on, which that's what it is, it's just a bunch of Trump hate. Well, they have no idea how much freedom I believe Trump could bring this country, because he doesn't want to give up our sovereignty to a global body. So the left is paying money and backing all these movements in order to build them up for the new world order. They've been hijacked, and they're being portrayed as freedom and rights when it's anything but freedom and rights. Because New World Order, my friends, leads to you giving up your solidarity. Your maybe that too, but giving up your sovereignty. Obama said that at his last United Nations speech. Just Google UN speech, President Obama, sovereignty, giving up sovereignty. I've done the report many times. I don't want to pull it back up, but you can look through my videos. But needless to say, this is the kind of junk that I don't know which way the wind is going to blow, but I see a division happening in America. I see a movement of nationalism, loving your country, and a movement towards that global new world order movement. And a lot of those on the left don't realize that that's what's being pushed and portrayed, and some do. And some don't know the repercussions of it. But to hijack all of that and say we're under the banner of, a big new world order movement now is a problem, and one that I predict, could cause very serious repercussions. And with all this Trump hate, there's a high possibility of some idiot loon being brainwashed enough to go and assassination attempt on Trump, be it false flag, be it through the government or not, the corrupt side of the government. The New World Order is pushing this, and they're pushing very hard for some idiot loon, lone wolf kind of guy or group of guy to go out there and do it outside of them. And that's what they're really pushing for, because otherwise they wouldn't push so much Trump hate everywhere. But let's get to the bottom line of this. And what is that? Well, the New World Order people are pissed. They don't want nationalism. They don't want Donald Trump. I've read numerous documents. World Economic Forum is one that I read and brought on my channel recently, in which I showed specifically how they hate Trump. Davos has hated Trump. They hate Brexit. They hate Nigel Farage. They hate anyone who stands in their way. And look, I warned it would get rocky, and it's going to continue to get rocky. So hold fast, hold tight. Anyhow, I wanted to bring you the latest on that. And I also want to say, look, I'm a woman and I stand with Donald Trump. More women need to come out and say that, because he's not out to steal our rights from us and put us back in the workroom and clean the dishes and that's it. He's not out to make us a whole bunch of homemakers. Okay. He's out to help America. And I really think that's it. And they don't want that. I'm a woman and I'm for Donald Trump. And I know many of you out there are as well. So make your voices heard. Anyhow, please make sure you check out my partners here. Foodforliberty.com/Haven has some amazing products. If all hell breaks loose, you're going to really want to have some food on hand. Also, getthetea.com has some amazing stuff as well. I bring some of his products on here off and on, but get the Super Strength Tea, one of the best products, and I'm not joking, on the market, and one of the best detox it is the best detox I've ever had in my entire life, and it's great. So make sure you get the tea and the Super Strength Tea, great step. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in. This is Lisa Haven signing out.